I'm Jeffrey Edward Epstein, and my residence address is 6100 Red Hook Boulevard in Virgin Islands.
Have you ever been convicted of a crime?
Yes.
Glittering world of the ultra-wealthy, where billionaires rub shoulders with presidents, princes, and prodigies, one name casts a long, indelible shadow: Jeffrey Edward Epstein. A financier of enigmatic origins, a collector of influential friends, and a convicted sex offender whose web of depravity ensnared dozens of underage girls. His story is not just one of crime, but of power unchecked, secrets buried, and questions that refuse to die. Born in 1953 in Brooklyn, New York, Epstein rose from modest beginnings to unimaginable wealth. He dropped out of college, yet charmed his way into elite circles, teaching at a prestigious private school, then joining the investment bank Bear Stearns, and eventually founding his own firm. By the 1990s, he managed money for the ultra-rich, famously claiming billionaire Les Wexner as his primary client. But beneath the veneer of sophistication lay a predator. Epstein's private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Little St. James, dubbed Pedophile Island by locals, became a paradise of horrors, where young girls were flown in on his Boeing 727, infamously nicknamed the Lolita Express. Epstein's crimes first surfaced in 2005 when Palm Beach police investigated reports of him molesting underage girls. Dozens of victims came forward, describing a pyramid scheme of recruitment. Epstein and his accomplice, British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, lured vulnerable teens with promises of modeling opportunities or money, only to subject them to sexual abuse. Flight logs reveal a who's who of passengers: former presidents Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, Britain's Prince Andrew, scientists like Stephen Hawking, and entertainers like Kevin Spacey. Many insist their associations were innocent. Others, like Prince Andrew, faced settlements over allegations. In 2008, Epstein struck a controversial plea deal under then U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta, pleading guilty to lesser charges and serving just 13 months in a lenient jail setup. He registered as a sex offender, but resumed his lavish life. Victims fought back. Virginia Giuffre, one of the most vocal survivors, sued Maxwell for defamation, alleging she was trafficked to powerful men, including Prince Andrew. That lawsuit birthed thousands of pages of court documents, partially unsealed in 2019 and more extensively in early 2024. But the full truth remained locked away until now. As of February 2026, the world is reeling from the largest disclosure in the Epstein saga. On January 30th, the U.S. Department of Justice, complying with the Epstein Files Transparency Act passed by Congress in 2025, released over 3.5 million pages of documents, videos, photographs, and investigative materials. This trove, far surpassing previous Unsealing, stems from federal probes into Epstein's sex trafficking network. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche called it the most comprehensive release yet, possibly the final one, including over 2,000 videos and 180,000 images, though heavily redacted to protect victims. The act itself was born from bipartisan pressure. Lawmakers like Representative Thomas Massie and others demanded transparency after years of delays. A December 2025 deadline loomed, but the release came late, sparking accusations from Democrats, including Senate Leader Chuck Schumer, that the Trump administration's DOJ withheld files. Survivors and advocates decried ham-fisted redactions that accidentally exposed some victim identities, prompting the DOJ to retract thousands of documents for fixes. Explicit photos, nude images of young women slipped through, horrifying victims like Annie Farmer, who called it extremely disturbing. What emerges from this digital deluge is a clearer, more chilling portrait of Epstein's empire. The files reveal Epstein's deep ties to power. Donald Trump appears hundreds of times, emails, mentions, and even a 2025 FBI-compiled list summarizing sexual assault allegations against him, some linked to Epstein's circle. Trump has long distanced himself, banning Epstein from Mar-a-Lago after a fallout. But old photos and logs show their 1990s to 2000s friendship. Bill Clinton, too, features prominently, with flight logs confirming multiple trips on the Lolita Express, though he denies visiting the island or wrongdoing. Elon Musk's name surfaces in correspondence, prompting him to reiterate denials of close ties. He claims minimal contact and rejected island invitations. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, a Trump appointee, faces scrutiny over a 2012 island visit with his family, contradicting earlier claims of cutting ties in 2005. Richard Branson, Harvey Weinstein, with a disturbing massage allegation, an NFL team co-owner, and the Duke, widely interpreted as Prince Andrew, appear in emails and notes. Draft indictments from the 2019 federal case name unnamed co-conspirators, alleging Epstein procured minors for lewd conduct. FBI summaries hint at broader trafficking. Epstein allegedly provided girls to others as favors, hoping for reciprocation. One presentation details accusations against third parties, challenging official claims of insufficient evidence for further prosecutions. Yet, amid revelations, mysteries deepen. Epstein's death on August 10, 2019, remains the saga's darkest enigma. Arrested anew in July 2019 on federal sex trafficking charges, he was found hanged in his Manhattan cell. Official ruling: suicide. But the newly released files include graphic photos of his body and cell, purple ligature marks, disheveled sheets, reigniting conspiracies. Cameras malfunctioned, guards falsified logs and dozed off, and Epstein was removed from suicide watch days earlier despite a prior attempt. Documents show days before his death, Epstein's lawyers met prosecutors, floating cooperation. An FBI timeline notes vague discussions of a plea and potential testimony against others. Did he know too much? Victims' attorneys like Spencer Kuvin point to testimony of Epstein boasting connections that could bring down elites. Bizarre theories even resurfaced post-release. Is Epstein alive? Faked death in witness protection? Unlikely, but the file's release of his autopsy images only fuels doubt. Then there's the island itself, a 72-acre retreat with a golden domed temple whose purpose baffles. Drone footage shows underground structures. Rumors whisper of tunnels, rituals, hidden cameras. Workers who built the temple described strange requests: soundproof rooms, heavy locks, unexplained deliveries at night. Epstein's New Mexico ranch, Palm Beach mansion, all raided, yielding CDs labeled with names and black books list contacts, scientists, politicians, celebrities. Why no charges against alleged clients? Prosecutors cite lack of evidence, but survivors insist girls were lent out. One particularly haunting detail from the 2026 files is a series of encrypted hard drives recovered from Epstein's safe, partially decrypted to reveal spreadsheets tracking massages, code for abuse, with dates, payments, and initials of high-profile guests. Victims like Maria Farmer describe being trapped on the island, watching helicopters arrive with new arrivals, feeling the weight of isolation as Epstein laughed about his friends in high places. Another survivor, Courtney Wild, spoke in interviews after the release about how recruiters targeted girls from broken homes, promising escape only to deliver them into nightmare. Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted in 2021 and sentenced to 20 years, appeals unsuccessfully, claiming others escaped justice via secret settlements. Her role as recruiter is undisputed, but the files suggest a larger network. Mentions of international fixers, offshore accounts funneling millions, even coded references to entertainment at Davos and Bohemian Grove-style gatherings. In the wake of the 2026 release, public outrage has surged anew. Protests outside federal buildings demand reopened investigations. Social media erupts with viral threads dissecting every redacted name. Documentaries flood streaming platforms, while books rush to print. Yet true justice feels elusive. Many named figures issue denials through lawyers. Others retreat into silence. The files expose patterns of enablers, pilots who flew the jets, staff who cleaned the mansions, bankers who managed the money, all claiming ignorance. 7 years after his death, Epstein's ghost haunts the powerful. The 2026 release, millions of pages exposing associations, allegations, and investigative gaps, promises transparency but delivers torment for victims. Names are named, yet accountability lags. As one survivor group stated, this exposes survivors while shielding the powerful. The Epstein files are not just documents. They are a mirror to society's underbelly, where wealth buys silence, influence bends justice, and mysteries endure. What secrets remain redacted? Who else knew? In the end, the true horror is not just what was done, but what was allowed. For the girls who survived, the fight continues. Their voices rising from the shadows demand no more hiding, no more islands of impunity. Their courage illuminates the path toward reckoning, reminding us that even in the deepest darkness, truth can emerge if we refuse to look away.